students, welcome to my class. Today we are going to study simple interest. Okay, so simple interest you had done it last year and most of the formulas also you had learned. You had solved many of the questions also. So this is of course a repetition, but since you are in standard 8, so the question level will be higher now. And I have selected many questions from your text that will help you understand, clear the concept, and I have always told you, please try out all the questions that is there in the exercise, which will always improve your ability level as well as the perfection level, okay? And you gain confidence as well. So please like, share and subscribe my channel. And I am very sure you will understand the chapter where I will be explaining all the steps to you. I have covered this part so that you don't get confused. One by one, I have taken many questions. One by one, we will solve it. And I would suggest when I read the question, you can write down, take one of your notebooks. You can write down what is required and what is given to you. Pause the video and solve and then check out that whether you are correct or not. So let's begin. So here, as you know, for principal we take capital P. For rate of interest we take R%. For time we take T, which can be in years or months. And the formula for SI, that is simple interest, is P into R into T by 100, which you should always write, and then next line you should substitute and find out the answer. And amount is principal plus SI, or suppose principal is not given to you, then amount can be, if SI is not given to you, then amount can be found out by this formula, P within bracket 1 plus RT by 100. So this is probably a formula which was not done last year. Last year you were only taught about adding up the principal and simple interest. But if SI is not given, then you can use this formula as well. And as you know, if SI is given, principal is given, rate is given, then time can be found out by, which you have done it last year, SI into 100 by P into R. We are using it. There are many questions where I have taken that. So we can revise it once. Let's do with the first question, where you have to find the interest and the amount on rupees 5,000 at 8% per year from 23rd December 2011 to 29th July 2012. Now this question, this type wasn't done yet, in the last year. Here you have to calculate the number of days and then you have to convert it into year just by dividing it by 365. So I have solved it here for you, where principal is given to you as rupees 5,000, rate 8% per annum, and the time. Now time you are given 23rd December 2011. So 31 days in the month of December. Therefore, the number of days you have is 31 minus 23 is 8 days. January, 31 days. February 2012, so it's a leap year, that is 29 days. March, 31 days. I will just move it a little so that it's easy for you to see. April, 30 days. May, 31 days, June 30 days, and July as given in the question 29 days. So when you add it up, it comes to 219. So what exactly is done here? The date from which the money is deposited is to be subtracted from the total number of days of that month. Add up all the days of the months in between and the number of days the money is deposited till, like it is 29 July, so July 29 days. Add it up. For time it has to be 365 divided by 200, like here it is 219 total and you divide it by 365, that becomes your time in year. So now we come to the formula, SI is P into R into T by 100. The next line we substitute, that is 5,000, rate 8%, time 219 by 365 and divided by 100. This you have done last year. So PRT by 100. Now suppose you are not writing PRT by 100 and directly coming to this step of substitution, you lose your 1 mark, children. So please pay attention, because you are going to carry this to ICSE as well. For the standard 10, it is very important that you write the correct formula and substitute correctly. If you do not write the formula, straight away come to the substitution, you miss that 1 mark. So please get into the habit of writing it. Formula, substitution, and then cancellation, which I have not done. I have left it for you to do the rough work. Standard 8, I don't think you need so much of spoon feeding as now. So cancel it in your rough and you will get rupees 240, which is the simple interest. Now amount is SI plus P. So 240 plus your principal is 5,000. The answer becomes 5240. Okay. So this is your answer. This was your simple interest. Clear? Then next question. The next question says, find the simple interest and the amount on rupees 2600 in 2 years, 3 months at 1% per month. So the rate is per month and the time is 2 years, 3 months. So what are you supposed to do? You need to convert the time into months. So let's see. This is the next question here. So principal given 2600, rate 1% per month, time 2 years, 3 months, that becomes 2 years means 2 into 12, 24 plus 3, 27 months. So now we come to the formula, SI is PRT by 100, substitute them and we get the simple interest as 702. Simple. So what had been done here? We converted the time according to the rate percent and amount is SI plus P, that is 702 plus 2600 and you get the answer. Simple. Okay, now the third question. And the third question is, find the interest and the amount on rupees 24,000 at 7.5% per year in 4 years. So now this is how we do it. Okay, so principal 24,000, rate 7.5%, time 4 year, SI is PRT by 100. We substitute 24,000, rate, time, and we get SI as 7,200 and amount is straight away add it and get the answer. This was simple. Okay. So, a direct question. Now we go to the next type of question. I will again try to hide the answers of all the questions that I have taken, and we will go one by one so that it's simple for you to see and understand. Now the first question that I have taken for you is, find the principal. Okay, find the principal if the SI be this much in 6 years, 3 months and 5% per year. So now the rate is per annum, that is per year, but the time is in 6 years and 3 months, which we have to convert it in year, and the simple interest is given to us as 7,008. So now we go to the solution, where we first write down whatever is provided in the question. Now here what do we have? Simple interest rupees 7,008, rate 5% per annum, time is 6 whole 3 by 12. Why 3 by 12? Because it is 3 months. So we get it as 25 by 4 years. Now we come to the formula of how to find out the principal. SI into 100 by R into T. So 7,008 into 100 divided by rate is 5%, time is 25 by 4. So 25 and 4 goes there. Now when you cancel, multiply and the answer, because we will not get in whole numbers, so a decimal, divide it. You all know how to divide. It is this answer. I hope you are following. And as I told you, please pause the video, solve it and check out with the solution so that it will always build your confidence, right? Now the next question. The next question says, find the principal which will amount to rupees 4,000 in 4 years at 6.25 per annum. The previous question was also finding the principal, but you were given the simple interest, the rate and the time. In this question, you have to find out the principal, but what is given is amount, the rate and the time. So we straight away go to the formula which I had showed you in the beginning. So first we write whatever is whatever is given to you. So amount rupees 4,000, rate 6.25% per annum, time 4 years. So we know the formula. Amount is equal to P bracket 1 plus RT by 100. Now we substitute 4,000 principal we have to find out, 1 plus rate and time we substitute, we get it 1 by 5. This simplification, children, I expect 8th standard student to solve it easily because you have done enough simplification, enough finding out the unknown in standard 6 and in standard 7. I have shown, but I have shown in steps. I expect you all to solve it in the rough and then check the answer. And then finally, principle that we have got is this. I will only teach you the method. I will not teach you how to multiply and how to divide and how to simplify. That you are expected to learn and come to standard 8. I have told you how to solve the question. Okay? Now the next question. In how many years, now is the time, in how many years will rupees 950 produce 399 as simple interest in 7% per annum or per year? So you are given the values of principal, which is 950, simple interest, which is 399, rate, which is 7% per annum. So time is given as SI into 100 by P into R. So we substitute and we get the time. After cancellation, multiplying, we get it as 6 years. So this set was simple, I hope. Okay, so we go to the next set. Okay, so there is another set of question. Now this one. Okay. So the question says, find the rate charged if simple interest on a certain sum is 3 by 2 of it in 1 by 4 years. You must have come across question like simple interest doubles itself, simple interest triples itself. I have taken question of that form also. You may get a question where simple interest is something of principal. This is one example where you have to find out the rate if the SI, that is simple interest, on a certain sum is 3 by 8 of it in 1 by 4 years. So you have to find out the rate. Now we will come to some assumption because principal is not given. So we assume that let P be rupees X. So according to the question, SI will be 3 by 8x because it was mentioned 3/8 of it. So 3 by 8 of x and the time is 6 whole 1 by 4. So 25 by 4 years. Now we go to the formula. Rate is equal to SI into 100 by P into T. We substitute, we multiply, we divide, we simplify and we come to the answer 8%. I have not done this cancellation, children. Let me repeat myself. You are supposed to do a little bit of rough work. Always have a strip of corner side ruled as rough work where you need to do all these multiplication and division and just put the answer so that it doesn't go scribbling too much here on the worksheet. Is that okay? Simple question, easy? Okay. Next. Find the sum, Find the sum borrowed, means we want to know the principal, which is borrowed on 24th May and that amounts to rupees 10,210.20 on 17th October same year at 5% per annum. So this is one more question. As I told you, this type of question wasn't there last year, so I have taken one more question. But the difference here, the previous one was where you had to find out the principal and SI. In this question, amount is given, you have to find out the principal. So what we do is, first we write whatever is supplied to us in the question. Here, amount is given to us at 10,210.20. Rate 5% per annum. Time we need to calculate. How to calculate? The money was borrowed on 24th May. So how much? May is 31 days. So 31 minus 24, 7 days. I explained this method in the first page itself. So if you really want to know, please go back to that part and check the video once again. So May 31 minus 24, June 30 days, July 31 days, August 31 days, September 30 days, and the October last date is 17. So we write it as given in the question, and the total is 146. So the time is 146 by 365 years. Now we straight away come to this formula. Amount is P into 1 plus RT by 100, and then we substitute and we cancel and we simplify. This is a very simple cancellation. We have cancelled with 73, 5 cancels, so 2 by 100 and 1 by 50, and then we finally get the principal as 10,010 rupees. Okay, we go to the next set. Two questions I have taken here. Okay, so the first question is here, right? Find the total interest if rupees 7,000 is lent at 6% and 9,500 at 5% for 3 years. So the question is, you are given two principals where the interest have to be calculated for the two separately, both kept for 3 years, but the first one at a rate of 6% and the second one at a rate of 5%. So here actually what we have to do is, we have to find out the total simple interest, that is SI1 plus SI2. So we need to know what are the P1, R1, T1 and what are the P2, R2, T2 in order to find out what is SI1 and SI2. So now we go to P1 is 7,000, R1 is 6%, time is 3 years. P2 is 9,500, R2 is 5% and time is 3 years. Time is same for the two. Rates are different, principals are different, very clearly mentioned in the question. Now we come to the formula. SI is PRT by 100. So SI1 is P1, R1, T1 by 100 and P2, R2, T2 by 100. So we have put it similarly. 7,000 into 6 into 3 by 100 and 9,500 into 5 into 3 by 100, and the values are calculated, added up to give you the total simple interest. This was a very easy question, only instead of writing two questions separately to find the simple interest for two different cases, they have asked you to find the total interest. That is the only difference here, nothing else. So don't panic by reading the question. Read, understand, comprehend it correctly. Okay, so we go to the next question. If rupees 2,550 is lent at 7.5% per annum and the debt is discharged by giving a television and rupees 1,422.50 after 8 months, find the price of the television. So the question is, a particular person lent some money at 7.5% per annum for 8 months, and while paying the amount, he could not pay the entire money. He paid a television and some money. So the point is, what is the cost of the television? So what are you going to do? You're going to find out the amount on this money. You're going to subtract the money which is paid in cash. The rest should be the cost of the television. So accordingly we have done. I will just show you here. Okay. So this one. right? Now principal, we know 2550, we got it from the question. Rate 7.5% per annum mentioned. Time 8 months, but do we multiply 8? No, not at all, because the rate is per annum. So the time will become how much? 8 by 12 years. We have done similar in the previous question. So I'm sure you must have understood. So we straight away come to SI's PRT by 100. We substitute 2550 to 7.5 time 8 by 12, and this is 100. And we get this as the simple interest. Now what do? We add it up to the principal to get the amount, and that comes to 267750. And now we have to find the cost of the television, which is amount minus the money paid in cash. So this money we write straight away here. We subtract the money that is there, which was given in the form of cash. So the rest of the value left becomes the cost of the television. Okay, question is simple, but put it in a very interesting manner, right? Next. Okay, now children, always see that you read the question very nicely. You write down whatever is mentioned in the question, and because that is very important. Once you write whatever is given in the question, finding out becomes easy for you. So let's take one by one. First question is that if rupees 3750 amounts to rupees 4620 in 3 years, find the rate of interest. This part is simple. There is something added up. The amount of rupees 7500 in 5.5% at the same rate. So you have to now find out the rate of interest. Okay. So what is given to you is this one. We know the principal is 3750. The amount is 4620 minus B, and we have found out the SI. We know the time. So now rate is equal to SI into 100 by P into T. So we substitute. We have found out the SI 100. Principal is mentioned in the question. Time is given. So we get the rate as 7 whole 11 by 15. At the same rate, if you have to find out the amount on rupees 7500, which the question asks, what do? We find the SI first. PRT by 100 into PRT by 100. So principal, the second part of the question, 7500. Rate we found out just now from here we have given, and the time is 5.5 years. That means it is 11 by 2 years. So we have straight away put it here. See, 5 2s are 10 plus 1. 11 by 2 is the time. Rate from straight away here I have put it. It is in form of mixed. I have put it in the fraction. And we have got 3190 after cancelling and multiplying and dividing. The amount becomes P plus SI. So 7500 plus the interest, and the amount is 10,690. So what have we done basically in this question is, from the first part of the question where amount and principal is given, we subtracted and found out the SI. We got the time. We got the rate of interest. For the second part, a different principal, a different time is given. We found out the amount. Okay. So next question. And the question says, I told you that I will take up a question where SI doubles itself and triples itself. This is the one. The sum of money doubles in 8 years. Find the rate. Also the time in which the sum triples itself at the same rate. So these questions are of two parts. In the first part, we need to find out the rate. In the second part, we need to find out the time. So the question is solved out like this here, where we have to assume, let the principal be rupees X. So amount, because it doubles itself, so amount is 2X. So SI becomes A minus P, that is X. And the time is 8 years. So rate, as we know, SI into 100 by P into T. X into 100 by X into 8. So the rate is 12.5% after cancellation. The second part of the question, where the money triples itself. So amount becomes 3x, principal as it is, let it be x. So the SI becomes 3x minus x is 2x rupees. Now directly time is SI into 100 by P into R. We substitute and we get the answer 16 years. So what is done in this question basically is, we assume principal to be x, and if the money doubles itself, the amount becomes 2x. If the money triples itself, the amount becomes 3x, and we find out the rate and the time as we are doing in the previous questions. One more question that I have taken here and is solved in the other part because it was running short of space. Right. So here the question says, what sum of money lent at 6.5% produce the same interest in 4 years as rupees 7,500 produces in 6 years at 5% per annum? So let me explain. Here a particular money at 6.5% for 4 years gives you some interest. That same interest is given by 7,500 principal, 6 years and 5%. So you have to find out the money. Now here I have done it for you. This is the answer. So this is the question and this is the answer. Okay, it's easy for you, so I have put it in this form. So given is P1, let it be rupees x, rate 6.5%, time is 4 years. In the second half, P2 is 7,500, rate 5% and time is 6 years. See, particular money, let it be x, 6.5%, rate 4 years, time. The second part, 7,500, 6 years and 5%. According to the question, simple interest of the two are equal, that is SI1 is equal to SI2, and SI is always given as PRT by 100. So P1R1 T1 by 100 is P2R2 T2 by 100. We substitute, okay? X into 6.5 into 4 by 100 is equal to 7,500 into 5 into 6 by 100, and we solve and we get the value of x as this. This is simplification. I hope you all must have understood. Okay, so the next question, that is this. A certain sum of money amounts to rupees 3,825 in 4 years and to rupees 4,050 in 6 years. Find the rate of interest and the sum. So we don't know how much is the principal. We don't know the rate at which it is charged. We just know the amount given in 4 years and the amount given in 6 years. So what we do here is, this. So amount A4 I have written, that means the amount in 4 years is given, the amount in 6 years is given. If we subtract the two, we get the simple interest in 2 years. How? Amount of 6, amount of 4, difference is 2 years, that is the simple interest in 2 years. When we subtract, we get it as 225, which is the interest in 2 years. When we divide it by 2, we know this is the interest in 1 year. When we multiply it by 4, we know this is the interest in 4 years, that is 450 rupees. This is the interest. Amount is given to you 3825. So if we subtract, we get the principal for the 4 years. And then finding out the rate will be simple, that is SI into 100 by P into T, that is 450 into 100 by 3375, which we found out into 4. And the rate is 1 by 3%. So basically what you have to do is, you have to subtract the two amount. That becomes the simple interest for the number of years, which is the difference of the two, that is 6 minus 4 is 2 years. We divide it by 2 to get the simple interest in 1 year. Any one case we have to take. I have taken it for 4 years. So we multiply it by 4 and we got the simple interest for 4 years. Amount for 4 years is there in the question. We subtracted and we got the principal. We substituted and we got the rate. Okay. Now the next question. The next question says this. If the interest on rupees 2,400 be more than the interest on rupees 2,000 by rupees 60 in 3 years at the same rate, find the rate. So the question is, if the principal is 2,400, the time is 3 years at a particular rate, and if the principal is 2,000 and the time is 3 years at that same rate, the difference between the two interests is rupees 60. This is the question. So how we solve it is this. Here let the rate be R%. Let the rate be R%. Principal first one is 2,400. Time first one 3 years. Principal second one 2,000 times 3 years. The difference between the two, that is SI1 minus SI2, is 60 rupees. SI we know it is PRT by 100. So P1 R1 T1 by 100 minus P2 R2 T2 by 100 is 60 rupees. So we substitute 2,400 into rate into 3 by 100. We have assumed rate as R, and minus 2,000. Sorry, this is not 200, this is 2,000 into R into 3, this is 2,000. Okay, 1 0 here is equal to R. So we cancel and we get rate as 5%. Okay, you have to assume rate. You have to understand from the question that the question is saying that the difference is 60. So we find for both the interests, we subtract them, that is equal to 60, and we solve and find out the value of rate. Now the last question, but not the least, we read it out to you first. Children, many of the children have doubt in this question, so please listen to this question carefully. Divide rupees 15,600 into two parts such that the interest on one at 5% for 5 years is exactly equal to the other at 4% for 6 years. So this money is divided into two parts. The first part is put at 5% for 5 years. The second one is at 4% for 6 years. And both the interests are same. So, please find out the two parts. Now, we solve out here the question. Let 15,600 be divided as X and 15,600 minus X. So, your P1 becomes X. R1 is 5%. T1 is 5 years from the question. P2 becomes 15,600 minus X according to the question and assumption, rate given and time given. And SI1 is equal to SI2, and SI is always given as PRT by 100. So X into 5 by 100 is equal to 15,600 minus X within bracket, because this is a principal, into 9 into 6 by 100 into 2 as given in the question. On solving these lines, this is linear equation, solve out, and we get X is equal to 7,500. I've shown some of the steps, but you may not follow this. There are different ways to solve the linear equations. So when X is this, my first principal becomes 7,500, and the second is 15,600 minus this, that is 8,100. So I've tried out with many of the question, and I hope you have understood, children. So please see the video once, twice, till you really understand. And I'm sure if you are looking into the question individually twice, you will definitely understand. Please go back to your text, open up the exercise, solve all the sums present there, and I'm sure you will be able to do all correctly. So children, please like, share and subscribe my channel, and hit the bell icon to get notified about my next video.